We're all aware that visiting a farm with a group can be expensive, so here's some tips on how you might think about funding your visit. Firstly, find out from the farmer how much the overall visit is going to cost. You might be lucky and find a farm that doesn't even charge for visits. Alternatively, the farm may either charge a flat fee or charge per person. But once you know how much this overall visit is going to cost, you can then start to think about how you're going to pay for it. Countryside Stewardship is a government-administered scheme that provides farmers with financial incentives to maintain and create areas of conservation interest on their land. One element of this scheme is called educational access, and those farms in receipt of this option will be paid through the scheme to host school visits. This means that the school would not need to pay for the visit, so always remember to ask if the farm receives Countryside Stewardship educational access payments when you're speaking to them. School farmers markets involve local food producers setting up stalls in your school alongside the pupils' own stalls, and then selling their produce to parents and members of the community. Often, the school will charge these local producers a small fee for a stall, whilst also making money from selling their own garden produce and baked goods. This money can then be used to fund visits to farms. Another option is that each class in the school has a savings account, which they are then responsible for keeping topped up by raising funds. There are many ways the pupils can raise money. For example, pupils might harvest produce from the school garden and cook seasonal recipes to then sell to parents and the community. Other options could include charging £1 for children to come to school in their own clothes, or even having a farm visit raffle at the school fete. You might also speak to the Parent Teachers Association to see if they might be able to raise funds for any upcoming farm visits that you have planned. Another option is selling your old technology. Everyone has got an old mobile phone tucked away in a drawer somewhere. You may consider using one of the many websites on the internet to sell your own phones to raise funds for farm visits. There are loads of sites that buy a range of unwanted consumer electronics. Maybe you could ask parents for any old items and then sell them to one of the many website companies out there. What a great way of raising some funds to pay for a visit. Another option is the pupil premium. In 2011, the government produced the Natural Choice White Paper, which outlined their vision for the conservation of the natural environment and how the public would engage with it. In Chapter 4 of the paper, it identified the importance of schools utilising outdoor learning opportunities, and it suggested that the use of the pupil premium could be a way of funding such visits. It read, "We have created a pupil premium intended to raise the attainment of children from low-income families. This could be used to give fairer access to nature for pupils from deprived backgrounds, for example, funding school trips to experience the natural environment. It will be for the school to decide how best to use the premium for the benefit of their pupils."